Good morning, Texoma. I'm Ashley Fitzwater. Thanks for joining us this morning. We are taking an inside look at a few events helping to get you in the Christmas spirit. One is showcasing a group of individuals right here in Texoma that are coming together to shine their talents for your enjoyment. Another event is actually showcasing a lot of beautiful lights and new additions. That's a true tradition for many Texomans. Joining me now on the concert that's going to be taking place this Tuesday is Steve Goen. He is the co-founder of the Wichita Falls Community Orchestra. And Steve, we appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And you know what? Everybody loves, of course, a good Christmas concert. And to make this even better, the one that's going to be coming up on Tuesday, I understand, is free.
Yes, absolutely free. It's at 7 o'clock this Tuesday, December 17th at Aiken Auditorium there on the campus of Midwestern State University.
And it's actually just a great tie-in to some other events we're going to be telling you about coming up a little bit later. And that's, of course, the Fantasy of Lights, because you can actually have a 2-for-1 deal going on this Tuesday night. But, you know, I want to just quickly jump in before we can chat about everything you can expect this Tuesday is really who the Community Orchestra is, because if you don't know, you're in for quite a treat. It allows folks right here in our community to share their love and their talents and their passion for music, right?
Right. It's the makeup comes from all aspects of the community here in Wichita Falls. We even have some people that drive in as far away as Nutcracker that come every Monday night to rehearsal. And one of the things that I've tried to do in the 2 years that the Community Orchestra has existed is try to encourage more people from the community that played orchestral instruments, either strings, woodwinds, or brass, or even percussion, to you know, get those violins and clarinets and things like that out of the closet, and you know, come back and you know, join the ensemble, and you know, increase the membership of the Community Orchestra.
It's a pretty good size orchestra too, because we actually had a chance to check out a little bit of their Christmas show, a sneak peek of it, at an event I was recently at, and I know you're going to be taking a look at some of that video. It was with the Texas businesswomen, and I tell you what, it was impressive. It was really good. And I understand that wasn't everybody. How many different people do you have that take part?
We've probably got right now about 36 to 40 in the group. Last April, I think there was 35 in the orchestra, and we've increased it a little bit this year. And we're always looking for more people. You know, like I said, if you play a string instrument, you know, especially violin, viola, cello, or string bass, we would love to have you join. Of course, it's going to be too late, you know, for the Christmas concert, you know, that's going on this Tuesday. But we're going to start back up rehearsals in January, and we would love to have anybody in Wichita Falls or the surrounding area that play anything like that, you know, to talk to us and, you know, to consider joining us, and let's build it up even more. My goal would be to get it up to maybe 45, 50 people. This group is something that, you know, I envision to get those instruments back out and become a musician all over again.
Now, I have to tell you, at the event I was recently at, and you know, you talk about lost talents, and I'm sitting by two ladies that I've known for some time now, and both of them were saying how they played the flute. And they're pretty good at it. And I didn't even know that. If there are folks at home who maybe play an instrument that would work great, you know, with this orchestra, do they need to be up to speed, I guess, before they join?
I was contacted by a woman here in Wichita Falls that played cello. And she said that she hadn't played in a number of years, but she still had a cello. And she asked to have the music sent to her first so that she could kind of look it over. You know, didn't want to stick her neck out all the way, but we sent her the music, and then 2 weeks later she started coming to rehearsal, and she's been with us ever since, and she'll be at the concert this Tuesday. And so now we're up to 4 cello players, which is great. It's a really low pressure group. There's no tryouts. There's no pressure on anybody. We've got people in there that you know, are, I guess you would say that they are or they were professional musicians at some point in time in their career. We've got several retired teachers. We've got a retired policeman. Becky Morrison is one of the librarians here in Wichita Falls. Kathy Rudy plays flute. She's at Midwestern State, connected with the nursing department. So, you know, we've just got, you know, people from all aspects of Wichita Falls. There's a couple of them, like I said, that are school teachers. Elizabeth Weatherby's one of the band directors at Iowa Park. She plays with us. And then we have one woman that drives all the way in from Nacona every week.
It's so neat to see, like you said, you know, all the different areas of life. You have folks come together and share their passion again,
right,
and their talents, you know, with the community. And I think that's another neat thing, because the group will go out and play at different nonprofit events and really just give of your talents to the community when needed.
Most of the concerts that we give every year are for other groups, other organizations. November the 2nd, we played for the fundraiser of Wichita County Humane Society at the Paws in the Falls. And we're planning right now to do a benefit. I believe the date is January the 4th, for one of the actors that was down at the Wichita Theater. He was killed in that car wreck up by Amarillo. He was performing in Texas. And they're going to set up a scholarship in his name, and we're going to perform for that.
Why is that important for the Wichita Falls Community Orchestra to really step out and give back? I mean, you could maybe charge folks to come in and listen.
In my opinion, there needs to be that continuous connection between the community and the community musicians. It just kind of comes full circle. I mean, I'm trying to get more people out of the community to play in it, but at the same time, you've got to constantly have a venue for them. The more that we get out in public and the more performances, people will start thinking of us more, and maybe they know somebody that plays something, or maybe they play an instrument themselves.
Absolutely, and you said this is the 2nd year, and it sounds like they are definitely growing, and there are 2 big concerts they put on every year. Of course, this Christmas concert coming up on Tuesday. We need to take a quick break, but we are going to tell you all about it and what you can expect. Again, it's free. There's going to be some treats. It's going to be a great evening for the family. So make sure you stick around. We'll be right back with much more. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. We are taking an inside look into the Wichita Falls Community Orchestra. They have a big event coming up this Tuesday night. It's free, and it's all taking place on the campus of Midwestern State University. You said it's actually the Aiken Auditorium.
Aiken Auditorium at 7 o'clock.
All you have to do is show up and get ready to listen to some great Christmas music. If you can tell us what folks can expect.
Well, we're playing 10 pieces this Tuesday night. We're playing The Bells of Christmas, Joy of Christmas, What Child Is This? A lot of people love that every Christmas. Sleigh Ride, which is one of my favorites, and I actually get to not only play trombone, but I get to crack the whip at the horses on that one. So if you come out and hear something real loud go off, that's me cracking the whip. We're playing 3 selections from the Nutcracker Ballet, the March of the Nutcracker, Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, which that's probably everybody's favorite this time of year, and Treepack. And then we've got a couple of special pieces. We're playing the Wexford Carol, which is a Irish carol, and it's going to feature a local vocalist, Melissa Ward, who is a soprano here in Wichita Falls. And then that's going to be followed by Peace, Peace, which is sort of a modern makeover of Silent Night, and that's once again going to feature Melissa Ward. And we're also this year going to add a children's choir to the performance. And then we're going to close out with an overture, Sing We Now of Christmas.
I love it. So what is the thing you're looking forward to the most come Tuesday?
Hopefully a packed house. That's what I want to see. I want to see a packed house. Last spring when we gave our big concert, we probably had it 2/3 full.
Wow,
and we
that's great.
ran out of programs real quick. And this year, I'm hoping with it being Christmas and with the addition of the children's choir, that we absolutely pack Aiken to the rafters.
And of course, it will be worth your time going out there. Again, 7 o'clock, Aiken Auditorium. Bring your family. There's going to be great music. As you even mentioned, the kids are going to take the stage and sing, which is always a joy to see. And I understand you're even kind of doing something special for the guests after in the lobby, correct?
There's supposed to be a reception there for the people that, come to the concert and everything. And that's going to be immediately after the concert. People can come to the concert and then go to the reception, and then they can step out the east door of Aiken and they can still take in the Fantasy of Lights.
And of course, meet those who make up our orchestra. I know that's going to be a neat part, and maybe get a chance to say thank you. And if you're interested, ask them more about it and how they got involved and how you can get involved. You said you have practices. Is that every Monday?
We don't meet during the summer, but routinely from September through April, except during the Christmas holiday, we meet every Monday night at the band hall there at Midwestern State University at 7 o'clock. The rehearsals go till 8 to 8:30, something like that. I want to give a special thanks to Rachel Kopelski, who is our conductor. The group, when we started it up 2 years ago, we did not have a conductor. The predecessor group had a couple conductors that had quit, and we asked Rachel to come back, and she did, and she's done a fantastic job with the group.
And I have to agree, because I actually got to see her in action. As I said, we got to hear them, and she just did a fabulous job.
I guarantee you, if you come out there and come hear the orchestra, you're going to be pleasantly surprised, and you're going to go, my gosh, I didn't know that there was this kind of talent here in Wichita Falls. And this is just 35 to 40 people, and I know that there's more people here in Wichita Falls and the surrounding area that have talent, and we need to get them in the group.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you joining us today and giving us another inside look to the community orchestra and really what you guys do for our community. I mean, it goes beyond just making beautiful music. It's a lot of giving back, and again, a lot of encouraging people to just continue their dreams and continue their talent. We are not done though. We are going to take another look inside Fantasy of Lights. When you walk out the doors from that concert, you can go check out, of course, the MSU Burns Fantasy of Lights. Again, you're not going to be disappointed by anything you see that night. It's going to be a wonderful evening to help kick off Christmas if you haven't already started that tradition, or just a night to continue on celebrating December. So stick around. We'll be right back with much more. We are kicking off Christmas with a look inside the Wichita Falls MSU Burns Fantasy of Lights. Joining me now with the very latest of all the details and a lot of new things to talk about this year is Kayla Gray. She is the marketing assistant with Fantasy of Lights, so thanks for being here this morning.
Oh, thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. And also our regular here to give us an inside look at this, Randy Cannavale. Randy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And he is the MSU Burns Fantasy of Lights coordinator. So I know we have a lot to get to this morning. Such a tradition that really kicks off Christmas in Wichita Falls and Texoma, and it is also known as the largest holiday display of its kind. But I want to take you back to how this all started because it's such a great story.
It is.
And it really goes back to a husband and wife, right?
It does. Well, the late 1920s, Mr. and Mrs. Burns got married and they decided to have their first Christmas together. They put a single Christmas tree on their front porch with a single light bulb, and that's how this all began. It's quite an amazing story, but she cherished that very, very much because she didn't come from a family that got to have Christmas. And so that's where this whole thing developed from. And then they added to it and added to it from years to years. And then after their passing, it was donated to Archer City. And then in 1971, Archer City donated it to Midwestern, with the stipulation that they can never charge admission fee to keep the fun, festive environment alive. But it has grown so much bigger than just a single tree right now.
Yes.
It is just exciting. We have 36 exhibits. We added 2 new ones this year, which we can get to later. But Midwestern started the Fantasy Lights, the nonprofit organization, in 1974 in order to get it all back up and started and out on the lawn. And that's where I guess we are today.
Because it's expensive to keep it running, right? I mean, many people might think, well, why do you even need money then? Why do you need a nonprofit to kind of keep this going?
To keep all the exhibits up and running. Some of them are getting old, they take upkeep and that kind of thing. And of course, just to store them in warehouses and the electrical and the setup and security, it does take quite a bit, but it's definitely worth it. So.
And I want to, I know you're taking a look at some of the video, but this exhibits is what she's talking about. And this is what Fantasy of Lights is. Lots of different children's themes, of course, and fairy tales. There's just all kinds of different things out there. I know there's the Little Engine Who Could, Cinderella's out there, just to name some of my favorites. And
Wizard of Oz, that's my favorite there.
Yes, so see, I know we can go down the line here and name a lot of neat things, but that's what you're looking at when you walk out there, and just a tradition that's really grown, because I know it brings in so many families.
It does. We have over 200,000 people that come to it annually. I'm not from here, and I grew up coming to this. I'm from Oklahoma, and we came down every year as a tradition. We'd come shopping, go to dinner, go to Fantasy Lights. I mean, so many families have grown up with that in their lives around Christmas time around here that the tradition just keeps growing, and it's just absolutely amazing to start off the Christmas season with something so fun and festive.
Absolutely. New displays, and I want to start with the Nutcracker Carousel, because this one is brand new and done by someone who actually did quite a few of the other ones, correct?
He's done some work for us already. Mr. Don Henschel, he kind of took the reins on the Nutcracker Carousel. We raised extra money for this project, and he started it back in June and worked countless hours on it, and now it finished as of October. It was done.
How was this particular thing chosen? Is this something that Mr. Henschel came up with, or was this a design that the team worked together?
Good question. It's actually both, Mr. Henschel and also the Fantasy Lights Advisory Board, because we wanted to do one display that kept in that traditional sense of what we have out there. So we kind of looked around and we said, what do we not have? And so we chose Nutcrackers. We'll have Nutcracker German traditional music with it. So
It's
very festive.
fun.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see
very
it.
festive. Yeah.
That's awesome. Just to kind of show the donations that we're talking about here and the time that these folks invest in this.
Sure.
How much does it cost to build maybe a new display?
The Nutcracker Carousel cost about $20,000.
Wow.
The Toys Christmas are roughly about the same amount. So you're talking about $40,000 in new displays. So if people want something new at Fantasy Lights, it takes time, it takes some money, but we've been able to bring it this year. So we're very happy about that.
How long did it take for each of these to be built?
Nutcracker Carousel started back in June, and Dawn officially finished it in October. Wow. The Toys Christmas, they started back in February, and they just finished it back in November.
Yeah. Wow.
So for the Toys Christmas, they used a lot of robotics, so that's why it took a little bit longer to work on, but the community's going to love it.
How impressed are you with these new displays?
Man, I'm kind of speechless, because when you see what the people put into them, such as Dawn and the Ernst family, I mean, you're just like, man, these people are talented. So we're very blessed that we have people like that in Wichita Falls that will do that for us.
That's not all, though. We have a new Ferris wheel that's coming
right.
too, right? Can you tell us more about that?
If you were at Fantasy Lights last year, you might remember that the Ferris wheel was hanging on, barely hanging on. And so once we left the yard and closed up, that Ferris wheel was falling apart. And so I had to build a new one. Kerrigan Career Center of Wichita Falls, we want to thank them as well. They rebuilt the Ferris wheel completely from ground up, all steel reinforced. It looks like the old one because we painted over it, but it's actually a brand new Ferris wheel. We have another lady that actually made new dwarfs for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs because some of them were kind of dated, so we need to update that as well. And then Kerrigan also did The Little Engine That Could. They made a new train. They expanded the scene. So we're really excited about their work as well. And that shows just how involved the school district is with Fantasy Lights.
Can you tell us a little bit about Kerrigan in case people aren't aware of what that is?
Kerrigan Career Center, they are a specialized school that they work with a lot of our high schools and junior highs in teaching kids trade crafts. So welding, electricity, carpentry, different types of things. So the way Fantasy Lights got involved is it's a learning experience for those students. So we bought the materials and they offered to do the labor as part of a learning project for the kids. And they've been working with us for several years now. And so it's a win-win for Fantasy Lights.
I was about to say, for sure, win-win.
Right, exactly.
Now, this new Ferris wheel, which kind of timely too, because, you know, you talk about the new generations and stuff.
Right.
But also the little princesses, you know, those are really popular right now. And Snow White is one of them.
Snow White. So yeah, we decided if we're going to get a new Ferris wheel, we got to get new dwarfs, a new Snow White. So we had a couple ladies that really worked on them and redid the makeup, the costumes, the wigs, everything. So they look great. And so we're very excited to see those with the new Ferris wheel.
Definitely exciting, and of course the little engine that could. I mean, I think I can, right?
Exactly. We had that one was full of water damage because of, you know, past year snow, the blizzard we had. So, you know, people have to keep in mind that these are outside, so they incur a lot of weather damage, and so we have to really update these every year. But sometimes we just have to totally rebuild them.
And new carts as well this year for those.
Yeah, it'll be a bigger scene, so it'll really take up that center portion of the lawn over at Fantasy Lights this year, so we're excited.
We spoke a little bit about the Ernst family and also Kerrigan, but I know that there's a lot of other people, including some electricians you said, that help make this possible.
That's correct. The electrical union here, IBEW, it's the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, they plug in Fantasy Lights every year for us. So all those displays have a lot of electricity they need to be plugged in. They do that free of charge for us. So that's their way of volunteering. And they also use that as a learning experience. They get apprentice-level electricians to come help. And so that's a savings for us at Fantasy Lights, and it's exposure for them and a learning tool for their electricians.
I know we've talked about this before. We've had you on in the past about work days, because those hours that you spent, what are they doing?
Fantasy Lights work days. We had one in October, which we invited the whole community to come out. We had about 70 to 80 volunteers, Kayla.
Wow.
MSU students, Shepherd Air Force Base, the school district, a lot of people came and helped us clean up the displays, repaint, just those little tidy things you have to do. And then we had another one back in November where we really fixed some things, really got the tools out and tried to fix what we could before we brought them out. And all were a success. So we have to say thank you to the community for coming out. I think it shows the commitment of the committee and the people that work on Fantasy Lights. It takes about 1,200 man-hours to set everything up, to fix things. So that shows our commitment. But when you get people like the Ernst family, Kerrigan, that shows the community's investment back into Fantasy Lights. So it's really important that we update things and we keep it going, because that's how people are attracted to it from here in Wichita Falls and also from outside the surrounding area.
Yeah, that's right. Keeps those families coming in to our area, right?
Exactly right.
And spending those dollars too. I mean, going out to eat
right.
and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
So,
even spending the night.
I mean, it makes Wichita Falls really stand out, just like everything else we have in Wichita Falls.
Well, thanks for joining us this morning, Texoma. As always, we hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here next Sunday morning for another look inside Texoma.